Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to be talking about Magneto, because I believe he's too strong. He's not the best tank in the game right now, but he's obviously going to be the next tank in the game within the best tank in the game within the next 3 seasons. Like, let's be so for real. Are they gonna not buff Mag after he underperforms to Strange? Because Strange is the best tank in the game right now, at least in my opinion. I think he's the most consistent. Mag is obviously better if you're hitting all the shots, but whatever. Not important. I think he's super strong. I think he's too good at too many things. So, here are my thoughts to fix him. And it's very crazy, because this would probably be considered a rework, even though it doesn't really change what he does. So, it's crazy. You have to hear me out. If you don't hear me out, you're not really going to understand. Anyways, I digress. Mag does too many things. He is a defensive monster. He has the left click, right click, left click, which can delete DPS on off angles. It can delete somebody, even if it doesn't absolutely tear away all their health. It deletes or makes somebody afraid of going to your backline if they get too close to him. For a poke character with a shield, he should not be able to do all of that for free, right? Just shouldn't be able to. The right click charges way too fast. Like, even without your bubbles, I have it all the time. There's times where I need to be throwing it out more, but I'm like waiting for the good opportunity or waiting to get a good left click, that by the time that I actually do it, I could have used it like twice within that time. It recharges super fast. So he has good damage, great poke, and really, really good defense. And then his utility is really good with his ultimate. Here's how I would do it. So first off, lower the damage of his primary. Just lower the damage of that all around. Alright, I think... And this is because you could go the other way and make him really good at offensive and lower his defense. But I think Mag, and the way that his skill tree with all of his skills are... I called it a skill tree. What the fuck am I doing here? The way all his skills are set up leans to him being a defensive shield. When somebody walks past Mag, he shouldn't turn around and kill them. He should put up his shield and say, okay, you get no support. And for the time that he gives you no support, he can use his own bubble to body block too. And then you just don't get any support and you die. And that should be where his power comes from, and helping with peeling and helping just in general with people walking past him. Not left click, right click, left click. Not turn around, bubble them, turn around, immediately have his right click, immediately have his right click back because the support took so much damage that it refreshed, and then do another right click. Like, it's insane the amount of stuff you can do. Now, I'm going to rework his right click to compensate for the missing damage on his left click. Off the bat, increase the overtime charge, so that way you don't get it over time as much. Hell, make it so you don't get it over time at all, is my opinion, but I think that might be a little too far. So, lower it at the very least. I think get rid of it entirely. That's it. But increase the amount of damage it does at the max level. Like maybe 1.5, maybe double. And then lower the amount of charge he gets from both his bubble, from like the damage his bubbles take. Because one bubble, if the bubble breaks on somebody for taking too much damage, it completely refreshes his right click. Lower that so it's like maybe half or just one of the bars. And you gotta hear me out. On top of increasing the right click's damage, increase the pushback it has while reducing the stun. So right now it pushes you back, but really not that far. Make it push you back a whole bunch at max, but it doesn't stun you. So it's just a push, like Invis's push. And then, like, make it build gradually. It does 1/3 of the damage and 1/3 of the push at 1 charge, 2/3 at 3, and the full thing at 3. Right? Maybe not as far a push as Invis, but I hope you see the vision. So that's getting people off of him, getting people out of position, but he can't use it as often because of his bubbles. They only charge maybe 1 bar of it. the more you use it, the less value you get from it. So it is really a mind game. You have to play strategically. You have to think, when do I use this? How often do I want to use this? If you're playing against Wolf, maybe you save it at full every time, so that way you push Wolf, you do immense damage, you push him all the way off, but then you're losing all of your actual damage output. And then because he doesn't have that much damage output, at least not consistently, he can finish off kills really quickly. He essentially has a Strange E now, but without Strange's ability to brawl. So to do that, give the bubbles more health, and give his shield. Give his shield way more uptime. And, sorry, I have to think through what I'm going to say. Give it way more uptime and make it charge his right click the same way that his bubbles do. Where the more damage it takes, the more damage it takes, the more charge you get for your right click. That way he can get right click faster, so that way you don't just never have it at full. You can get it at full. I'd also make it charge slower. Not a lot slower, but just a little bit. Like double the amount that he can have at once with his shield uptime, but then lower it. Because right now, I put it up, but if I put it up at all, it's pretty much all gone. Even by the time I cancel it, I mean, I got barely a little bit left. There's no point in ever canceling the shield. If you double it, like, and reduce how fast it charges up, now you're thinking, okay, there's a 3-second cooldown on it every time I use it. It's essentially like Strange's shield, where you have to give it time to recharge before you can use it again. It has a 3-second cooldown tied to it already, but as it stands, I never end up using the 3-second cooldown. It's only like 5 seconds until it's at full, 4 to 5 seconds, and then you just put it up. You can just put it up again. Now, you do have to be careful when you put it up, and strategic when you put it up, but it's never like super punishing to put it up, because it's 5 seconds until you can get it again, unlike your bubble where it's 12 seconds. So I think those are the changes I would make, because if you use your shield too precariously to charge your right click, so that way you have big damage, more damage, then you don't have the shield. Holy shit, that's a fucking huge gust of wind through my window. Oh, I was enjoying the breeze. But anyways, if you use your shield too precariously, then if somebody walks past you, you don't have the ability to keep your shield up for a long amount of time and protect them from all the incoming damage. And that's how we should benefit, because if Mag turns around to shoot that person in his backline, he would be losing value in this setup. In this setup, he is a defensive monster who has the potential for high burst damage, but lower consistent damage. And he gets his utility. He gets his value by defending his team and making sure very little damage comes of them and hurts them. I understand that in this setup of the game, the way the game is set up right now, where time to kill is extremely fast and healing is extremely relied upon, that would make him the most broken character in the game. I understand that. The goal would hopefully be so that things get nerfed, and that is no longer the situation of the game. Healing and damage should be reduced in this game. That would make kits like this more viable, because right now, you can't have Mag be a defensive monster. It's why they reduced his shield stuff so much, because he can't do it. If you do that, then your team takes less damage, which means you heal more, quote-unquote. Your team is taking less damage, which means your supports can do other things, blah, 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 blah. All to say, it makes your supports better, it makes your team survive longer. Sustain meta is already a problem. It's been a problem for a while, but they don't fix that. And then they up his damage several times, and how fast it gets his right click to make him more compete with the other tanks on damage, where he should be competing with them in what you have in damage, I have, and I can negate that damage from my whole team. But whatever. They don't like that. Honestly, I'd rather give him 2 charges of his shield, and then they each take 12 seconds to recharge, but you could bubble 2 teammates. With like a 3-second lapse and when you can do it, you could bubble 2 teammates or bubble yourself twice, but like that is more decisions to make on how you protect your team. But you can't make him a character that makes him protect his team in this meta. I understand that changes like that would not be good for the game. This is an idealized, hypothetical, this is what I wish Mag would work like. Because, as it stands right now, I don't feel like I'm defending my team a lot. I feel like I am shooting their supports because I do the damage to make them back off or make them use defensive abilities just with my primary attack, and then pushing the tanks backward to compete with space. And I don't even have to I can do that so often, push the other tank. I don't feel like Mag is a very good defensive character. I don't know. I understand you gotta reduce all the damage and reduce all the healing, and people say, oh, well, that's not gonna do anything. It would do everything, because time to kill would go down, which means the value of your healing is much more important. Who you heal at what time is much more important. Whatever, that could be its own video. This is what I wish Mag looked like. An ideal world, though I do understand he would be broken the way he is. Let me know what you think, and if you agree that Mag should be a defensive giant, but not so much in the attack area, even though he should have damage to hold his own, he shouldn't, be that consistent with his damage, because he should be a defensive monster. To me, that's what his kit feels like it should do, and it feels like the best thing for his kit to do. Those are my opinions. Like I said, let me know. And do all the YouTube stuff. If you do, I love you. And I'll give you a big, virtual, wet, sloppy French kiss. Don't tell my girlfriend I said that. They'll get very jealous. Or maybe they'll do it just to get one. As always, thanks for watching. Wet Willy!